Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my channel and welcome to the beginning of a new adventure. This is the prologue video for my incoming Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 playthrough. Yes, I decided to play both games to record them and post them on my channel. It's going to be a very long-term project. Both games are very long, talking about at least 70 hours of gameplay. Just consider the first games. Probably it's going to be a lot more than that. So sit tight, it's going to be a long journey. In this video, I'm going just to introduce you not the game itself, but my choices and my decisions about this incoming playthrough. So first, as you can see, I decided to play the enhanced edition of the games. Even though I still had the original CDs of the original release in late 90s, early 2000. Mostly because I would need a ton of fixes and patches, especially for resolution, graphics, stuff like that. Also, NAS edition comes with a few quality of life improvements. For instance, the Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition, the first one, uses the same version of the engine of the second game. So, for instance, there are stuff that were included in the second game, such as class kits, stuff like that. There are also new NPCs, new characters that can be recruited. I have no strong opinion on them. Actually, I think in my previous playthrough I encountered only one, but still, it's not a problem. And the first game is already full. There's so many NPCs that can be recruited, so it doesn't make a lot of difference. Things are slightly different in the second. Another thing, I asked the good people of my Discord channel what they thought about me creating an entire six-man party, persons party to play the game, because that's something that you can do in the enhanced edition. You can create your entire party and avoid recruiting NPCs. It was an unanimous decision for me to create just my character and go for the more classic run. Okay, so I'm recruiting the NPCs that I found along the road. Creating your entire party has some things in its favor and some things against it. Obviously, you can create, starting with 6 characters instead of 1, make the first hour or so of the game a lot easier. And actually makes the whole game a lot easier, because you can create characters tailored, perfectly tailored for your playstyle, for what you have in mind. Okay, you can already plan who's going to be a multi-class character, who's going to be a human dual-class character, and stuff like that. But no, I agree with this choice, but I also presented so that everybody could speak their minds. Okay, so I'm going with just one character as usual. So having said that, obviously there's the third thing I'd like to talk about is what games I'm playing of the series. Okay, because there's Baldur's Gate 1, 2, but there's also the Siege of Dragonspear, the expansion that was released a few years ago. and that fits between the first and the second game. We'll see when I finish the first Baldur's Gate what I'm going to do. I still haven't decided. Okay, depends on how long it's going to take me to finish the first game. This ties up with another question that you could ask. Have I ever played these games before? Okay, so, well, yes, I've already played them. It's not going to be a blind playthrough. Even though I most recently played and finished Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition in 2018. That's a few years ago. And I played, and actually I've never finished the second chapter of the second game, even though I was taking my sweet time in doing all the possible side quests. Okay. However, when they came out, I finished the first game 3 times and the second game twice, even though I never finished the expansion Throne of Baal, or Baal, I think it's correct, Baal. I've never finished it. I got about 1/3. Okay, that other things happen, and when I picked the game, the NAS edition, as I said, I played a few hours. I was going for finishing all the side quests before the end of chapter 2, and that was too much. Okay. Alright, having said that, last thing I want to mention is probably this is going to be a spoiler, so I hope I remember to put a spoiler tag, spoiler text, okay, on screen to warn you. And what character I'm going to play, what party I'm going for, okay? So, it's real. I'm a good guy, okay? When it comes to video games, it's very, very hard for me to play as an evil aligned character, okay? I'm naturally leaning toward being the hero. Okay, so I'm going for a good aligned character and a possibly good aligned party. Considering the different NPCs that I can recruit in the first, but most important in the second game, I discarded the idea of being a mage, because in the second game you get you can get Imoen and Nalia as basically pure class mages. They're dual class, but they're not specialized mages, so they don't have those many spells per day, but they're more than suitable. They're probably the second and third best mage in the game, behind Edwin. And there's also what's her name, Irene, the multi-class cleric mage elf, and she's nice to round up the party, but in the second part of the second game and the expansion, she's probably going to fall behind a little, but still she's a spellcaster, and she can fit in properly. And also decent fighters, decent melee fighters. That's Minsk, obviously, Minsk and Bo, who are 99% going into my party. And there's also Mazzy, the halfling warrior. She's very good. She's not she's better at range, but she can tank, she can carry her own weight. There's also Calderon, the paladin, who's not great as a character, but being a paladin, the only paladin in the game. He's the only character that can use some powerful items such as the Holy Avenger. So that's another argument for the game. What's left is the cleric healer support role. Okay, there's a Erin, as I think it's Erin her name, but she's a multi-class, so she cannot fill that role the whole time. I'm not taking evil characters, so I'm not going to take Viconia. That will leave us with Cern the druid and Anomen the fighter cleric. It's human, is dual classing. I really cannot stand Anomen. Alright. So in the end, I decided to go with a multi-class human fighter cleric. I'll start as a fighter, and then at the beginning of the second game, I'll switch. I'll do a class to cleric and fill that role. That should also give me enough steam power for the first part of the second game to tank and dish out some melee damage. And in the later stages of the second game, I'll switch to a more support-like role. And I should still be able to reach level to reach, I think, level 40. It's for clerics, and the maximum level reachable, or if that doesn't work, level 39, which is still a lot. So let me introduce you my character, and I should be able, yeah, I already rolled in because I don't want to keep you here 20 minutes for me to roll until I get good rolls. And the lucky winner is going to be, drum roll please, Vaclav, who carries the name and portrait of my very first Baldur's Gate character, and also my most beloved D&D back me character, who was a cleric called Vaclav, because he was of Traldarian origin, so he had to add Eastern European name, and I came with it. Starting as a fighter, he's neutral good. Okay, strength 15, which is the minimum to dual class. Dexterity 17, Constitution 18, Intelligence 9, Wisdom 16, Charisma 13. Now, bear in mind that I'm not going to dual classing in the first game because I want to reach at least level 9. And I think it can reach only level 8 in the first game. So, also, I'm counting on finding all or as many as possible of the boosting tomes, or the stat boosting tomes. There's a tome for every ability except wisdom, that there are 3. So what I'm aiming at is strength 16, dexterity 18, constitution 19, intelligence 10, wisdom 19, and charisma 14. Okay, strength is not an issue. I just want 15, which is the minimum for dual classing. Okay, I still need the tome of, what is it, infinite wisdom or something like that to get wisdom 17 before I can dual class. But I'm going to reserve all the strength boosting items for him anyway. Gauntlets of Ogre Power in the first game, Girdle of Giant Strength, and Cromfair in the second. And as this is my only generated character, I'm going to give him all the stat boosting items because they're not carried over if used on the other NPCs. That would just be a waste of potential. That's it. I'm already going to start with clerical weapons: Warhammer, Flayed Morningstar, and slings. Okay. When I'll switch to I'll do a class. Okay, switch to cleric. I'm going to temporarily lose these Probably going to take mace and something else. I don't think I'm going to skip on sling, because if you pick a redundant skill, I think it's wasted. It's better to diversify, otherwise they don't add up. Okay, so I'll go with like mace and sword and board style, okay, or other stuff like that. And possibly up until then I'll focus on Warhammer. The idea is to have Crownfair and give in to him. And this is it. I chose this, as I said before, I chose this portrait, which is actually Garrick's portrait, just because it's the same portrait I used back then, okay? And that's it. So that's my plan. In the first game, I'm probably going with Imoen, Khalid and Jahira, and Misk and Nayaner, but it's not set in stone. I'd like to get Islik, so probably at some point I could dump Khalid and Jahira for Islik and Ayantis. Okay. I'm not going to dual class Imoen. This is something that I tried in my latest playthrough, and it's a pain because you're suddenly without the thief required for disarming, locating, and disarming traps. So I had to find someone else. I tried Oran, but I didn't work out as planned, so I went for Alora in Baldur Gate. She was good, but by the time you reach that point, she was already essentially leveled up and didn't have room for customization. In the second game, as I said, I'm probably going with Imoen, the cleric mage, the mage cleric elf, whose name I forgot. Minsk, most probably Minsk. Kaldorn, could be Kaldorn, a good idea. And maybe Nalia if you need another mage. So I'll try to stick with good characters. The other neutral characters that I might take in consideration are Jan as a backup thief, who's a illusionist thief, who's neutral, and Jahira, because Jahira, being a fighter druid, she can use any armor, which is what really limits druids, and the weapon selection for druids in the second game is still quite good. So she would be like a knock tank, a melee fighter with supporting druid's abilities. I just have to find the strength of will to withstand their constant muttering and whining when my reputation reaches 19 and 20. We'll see, however, we'll see. Okay, so that's it. I think I was as brief as possible. So if you have any question, okay, about the series which I'm about to record, I haven't recorded yet, feel free to ask, drop a comment here and down in the section down below in this video, or you can join Discord. Also, if you'd like to follow this series, I highly recommend that you subscribe to my channel, because the uploads will be, as usual, all over the place. I'm probably going to upload a few episodes at a single time instead of regular uploads every week. Also, the episodes are probably going to be as a little longer, because it's hard to cram a lot of coherent action in 20 minutes. So it's probably going to be 40 minutes under for this game, which, however, even natural game should be fine, but eventually I'll change to something a little bit shorter, or if you prefer something longer, it can be done as well. Okay, time to part ways. So thanks for listening to me, thanks for listening to my rambles, and I'll see you again soon with the first episode, and it's going to be ready. Until then, take care and goodbye.